everyone. Welcome to the Number Two Septic podcast. Today, I'm joined with Mason Rickner. He is from K&M Excavation and Septic. Mason, welcome. It's so great to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business? I mean, I know you kind of do everything. You do
Yeah.
all the septic things and you do portables and storm shelters, but just kind of tell us about your business, where you're located, what you do, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're in Stroud, Oklahoma. We're right between Oklahoma City and Tulsa. And we've been in business for about 5 years. We do everything from installs, portable toilets, pumping. The portable toilets we just got into. So that's a learning curve and a half. But yeah, we do about everything with septic.
Well, 5 years is a pretty new septic business. I was
Yep.
really impressed with how many reviews y'all had for being in business such a short period of time. So tell us, what's the backstory behind how you got started?
Yeah. So, I mean, chasing the money is kind of it's not the glamorous way of putting it, but we did a little bit of mulching. We actually, the partner that I have in this building, we sold the mulching company to, and we got into the septic kind of we knew a guy that needed a septic while we were doing some dirt work, and just kind of ran from there. Uh, the the septic side kind of took off. We've only pumped for 2 years. Um, Really, we've only installed for about a 4.5 of the 5. So, um, it's all pretty new, really.
So you started with the installing and then sort of
Yeah.
just spread from there when people kept asking you, hey, can you pump? And
Yeah.
finally got
Yeah,
tired of,
it gets annoying when you're like, well, we can't do that. We need to call somebody else. So we try to take over everything that, somebody's asking.
yeah. What do you think is your big first win that you had when you started the business where you're like, hey, I think this could actually work?
Well, at the time I was doing gutters, so like $200 for a day worth of work was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And then doing a septic install and getting a check for, I think it was like $3,500 was the other half, was like, and that felt like you won the lottery. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we did a job for a guy in Oklahoma City, and the after the job, it was like, you guys really, like, this is the best communication we've had. This is the
Sure.
best. And I was like, from there, it was just like, oh, we can be good at this. We can, so that was kind of our jump off point, was
Hmm.
getting somebody telling you like, hey, you're validated. You are actually good at this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Definitely. What was the life experience that you had prior to this that you felt like set you up to, you said you were doing gutters,
Yeah.
but what do you feel like set you up to really just run with this? It sounds like maybe you're just an entrepreneur probably at heart, and saw something and ran
Yes.
with it.
I've been an Oklahoma City firefighter for about 10 years. And I think that, as far as communication, or the people, dealing with people
Yeah.
and all that, definitely set me up for, being able to talk to people, being able to, um, meet a need, or the service part of it.
Hmm.
But doing the side jobs, doing the blue collar stuff, that was pretty new. So
And are you still a firefighter or is
yeah,
this your full time? You are.
yeah, yeah, yep,
That's awesome. Yeah, we have some firefighter friends who it feel like they all have got a side gig going on their days off because you
yeah.
get such big chunks of time. So did you bring some of your firefighter buddies with you into the business, or your family members, or who did you kind of recruit with you to get started?
So my dad's been a big part of it. He wasn't in the fire service or anything, but that was the big start of wanting to do something with my dad. And then some of the guys that started out, you quickly learn that firemen are good firemen. They're maybe not so good at manual labor, but yeah, we had a lot of good guys starting out. My best friend from high school was my first employee. He helped me build it to where it was a serious company, and as soon as it became a serious company, unfortunately, we kind of went different ways. But um, the people that helped me build it in the beginning were crucial.
Yeah. Well, to go from no reviews to 250 odd reviews is a lot for
Yeah.
5 years because I work with a lot of septic companies who they're struggling. They've been
Mhm.
around 20 years and they've got maybe 50 reviews.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about how you made that happen, what kind of systems and processes you put into place, and how you feel like that's helped your business.
So I think the biggest thing is service. And that sounds really cliche and it's really, um, it can be kind of drama, but um, when you actually care about somebody and you're going there to help them, you're going there to build the relationship and you're going for that 5-star review. So our techs, when they're going out, they know that they get a bonus for a 5-star review.
Hmm.
Now Google's weird with that, but um, it's not just getting the 5-star review. We tell them we're going for a 6-star review. We don't want them to just put a 5-star on Google and never talk to them again. We want them to tell their friends. We want them to post pictures on Facebook that they're ecstatic about this disgusting thing that they've never looked at once in their life. And they had this guy that came out that was knowledgeable and respectful and clean. And, you know, I think a lot of it too is the stereotypical septic pumper is like this old man in a dirty truck. And, he comes out and he doesn't wear gloves and he's, you know, abrasive. So we kind of put the plumbing mindset of we're going to wear gloves. We're going to come in a uniform. We're going to come dressed up. We're ready to roll and, bring a little bit of professionalism to it. And that's been a big difference with a lot of the customers and what they say about us is, the last guy had, he leaked oil all over my driveway or
Hmm.
something, something along that line where it's like they didn't care.
Hmm.
They're like, you guys really seem like you got your stuff figured out. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
see
really
it?
cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, so there's so much to unpack there, but how do you bonus your employees? Because I do have other companies that do this, and
Yeah.
sometimes as they grow, they can struggle to keep track of which employee got which
Yeah.
review. How do they ask for the review while they're on the field? I mean, get real specific because
Yeah.
this will actually be really helpful.
So we've done it a lot of different ways. We used to give them cards, like a business card with a QR code, and it was like, hey, mention my name. It's got my name on the card. If you were happy with the service, we'd give them that. And then we use Jobber, so Jobber would automatically send them a follow up. Hey, our techs get reviews now. I've been told, I don't know what the deal is with Google, that you're not supposed to mention text names now, but it seems like it changes every day. So, um, but that's been the biggest thing is just asking for it. 90% of the people, if you're doing a good job, they're happy to help you in any
Hmm.
way that they can. Um, but I mean, you got to start with doing a good job and being worth getting the review.
Yeah, that's so good. As you've grown and added technicians and crews, maybe office staff, how have you been intentional about protecting those core values? And how do you teach that? You talk about really treating people well, going for the 6-star review. How do you make sure that happens with your employees who are going out into the field and on homeowners' properties?
It's insanely difficult to get somebody to care about a customer the way that I might care about them or the way that they should be cared about, especially with
Right.
septic.
Yeah.
So hiring is obviously that first step of hiring guys that not necessarily good septic guys, not necessarily good blue collar, not necessarily the good resume guy. I want guys with a good attitude that I like talking to.
Mm.
They don't have to be salesmen, but if I enjoy talking to you and you have a good heart and you have a good charisma to you, I can train you to pump septics. I can train you to work on this stuff. I can't train you to be a nice person that people like.
Yeah.
So in hiring, I a good example of we did a class the other day with my guys and we went to the tire shop and the guys just looked at me when I walked in. It's like, don't ignore your customers, just that charisma is really hard to teach. So
Yeah.
getting the guys initially is a big deal.
Mm. Do you do anything like an on the job interview with them, or is it kind of you just pick that up from just talking to them in the initial interview?
So our our interviews, probably unconventional, and we just throw at them like we're sitting around the table talking. Um, And that's kind of the deal is like, I understand you're gonna be nervous. I understand like the questions or, all the questions we have to ask. Um, but if you can't hold a conversation and act like a normal person in that 15-minute conversation, then you're obviously not gonna make it. And we've had people that do that and they go out and they pump their septic tank and they're like, this is not for me. I never want to see this again. And they leave immediately. So, we'll hire on and then we have about a 90-day kind of, a break-in period.
Hmm.
It's like, hey, are you actually okay with this? And sometimes they're not. So
Yeah. It's a dirty job.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They have to be okay with that. What's the most effective way you found to build relationships with the people in your company, your employees, and how do you work on that sort of team dynamic?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that we've just kind of started doing is in the mornings, instead of rushing out the door and instead of trying to hit that first job and book all the jobs, that conversation in the morning, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's something I kind of took from the fire service where you have your coffee and you sit on the bumper and you talk
Mm.
about your guys' weekend. You get hear about their families, the things that they got going on in their lives. That's a really small thing, but there's a lot of guys that they come into work and they want to tell you what they did over the weekend, or they want to talk about their kids.
Hmm.
Uh, everybody. It seems like everybody that works here has 4 kids, so we've got plenty to talk about. So, you know, that's probably the biggest culture thing that I've found so far. That's like, okay, that you know,
Yeah, that's really good. And I think people, they just want to know that you care about them as a human being too.
yeah,
I think that goes a really
yeah,
long way.
of course,
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about measuring and tracking things. Is this something that you guys do much? Do you track sort of like your jobs per day, your average ticket, your callback rate, or is there any sort of
yeah,
metric that's like your metric that you really like to watch that you feel like has been really helpful for you?
yeah. So the biggest thing that we harp on is obviously the 5-star reviews, because if you're not averaging, 1 or 2 a day, then why are you not? Why are people upset with you?
Mm.
Uh, but also with that is our daily average. So I'm expecting my pumpers to hit roughly an $800 average, which isn't a lot. Um, that's basically 2 pump outs where we're at. It should be attainable, every day.
Hmm.
Um, Now with that, if they're hitting above that, they should be able to hit $1,500 to that, selling upselling systems. So that at call average, because I would rather them do 2 to 3 calls a day and average, $1,500 a call rather than put 6 pump outs on the board and then we have, everybody's getting home late or they're trying to rush around to get to the next call. I'd rather them, um, sit on site, sell something, try to fix something,
Mm.
and make the call worth going to.
More quality over quantity.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you get out on the field much, or your crew pretty much takes care of that and you sort of are just orchestrating the business from the back end?
Yeah, it seems like, they say like get out of the field and that's when you grow, which is 100% true. But it's like trying to, quit a drug or something. I don't know what it is, but I sit at this desk and I'm like, I have to go do something. So I usually end up bugging them or hopping in a truck and taking a call or, they don't work weekends, so I'll take weekend calls.
Mm.
And I have a lot of fun with it. So
That's awesome. And you're
yeah.
still on shift as a fireman, correct?
Yeah, the fire department has become the part-time job for
Yeah.
sure. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
So how have you managed both of those things at the same time?
Well, not well. They got therapy for a reason. And once you've had a few mental breakdowns and yeah, feel like you're fighting for your life, you get past it and you kind of learn to balance it. My wife's really great about helping out. But you got to surround yourself with people that you trust and people that are, um, if I try to put out every fire that happens here, I would lose my mind. But
Mm.
when I'm on shift, I trust these guys, and there's nothing that's that important that can't wait till tomorrow to talk to me about.
Mm,
And that was a really hard place to get to. But now it's very satisfying to be able to just let them handle it.
yeah. It was probably a really good thing that it would have forced you to make sure that you built a good team a lot
Yeah.
quicker than if you didn't have that. So in some ways, I think it probably helped like accelerate your success.
Yeah. Yeah, for
It's really
sure.
okay. Without giving away your pricing playbook or anything like that, how do you stay competitive against maybe people who do things really cheaply, which is
Mhm.
fine, that has its place in the market. But what do you do to stay competitive or set yourself apart? You talked about obviously the professionalism and having that relationship with your customers. But how do you help your customers understand that that's what you bring, or other ways that you stay competitive?
So we're not really trying to be competitive. I don't have the goal of competing with anybody. I don't really care what their pricing is. Um, the trucks cost what they cost. The guys are paid what they're paid. We're going to charge what we charge. Um, Somebody will pay the bill, regardless of what it is. We've had customers we've lost over $10. I mean, it's and I'm not going to fight you over $10. I'm
Yeah.
not going to fight you over $1,000. I'm just our price. We try to stack as much value into that as possible. We'd always do the rule of threes with, three quotes. Um, we kind of have the today fix, the couple year fix, and the forever fix. It's kind of how we frame it. The plumbing sales coach, which plumbing is, but it's really not that far off. The plumbing sales coach has some really good materials, and we
Mm,
followed that program for probably a year now.
okay.
And when you start charging like a plumber and start demanding a little bit of authority out of your quotes, it changes the way you look at jobs, because it's a professional. We're professionals. We're not guys in a truck showing up and just we're 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 here as a professional service. We're going to charge accordingly.
Okay, the plumber sales coach. That's a great tip. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to link that in the show
Yeah.
notes. Yeah, I
It's
really like that. The threes, giving three quotes. I think that's great.
yeah.
Do you find that that pushes people towards the middle usually when you have three like that?
It's kind of weird because it's almost never the middle. Um, Probably 50-50 on the cheaper quote, or because a lot of times it's especially with the septic tanks, our plumbers are, like, here's the fix that'll make everything perfect. It'll make your system run as good as it possibly can. We're not trying to scam people. We're not trying to, just upsell for the heck of it. But here's everything that would make your system as good as new.
Hmm.
Make your water quality that's coming out of that system as good as it possibly could be. And then we could pump your tank and we could leave. And most of the time it's that. But a lot of times you get that high end, because doing the middle, people are like, I might as well spend the
Mhm.
extra money.
Yeah. And I think we forget too, sometimes we think that everybody just wants the cheap fix, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of people that want the peace of mind that comes from knowing that everything is taken care of. So this is just a good tip for all the companies listening to make sure you're not always giving the low ball offer, because there are people who they want more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Yep.
was a great tip. I love that. Okay, so what's the hardest thing you faced in your business? Maybe it was something new that you tried that just didn't work. Maybe it's these portables that you're trying to deal with. But what's the hardest thing you've dealt with in your business, and how are you still getting through that, or how did you get through that?
The hardest thing so far has been, I mean, it's been stepping back, um, and letting things play out, letting guys take the role. I mean, it started with letting the first guy that took the excavator from me. I thought I could run the excavator better than anybody you've ever
Yeah.
seen, and obviously not. But um, and then we just hired a guy that's been pumping tanks for 20 years, and that dude knows more about this stuff than I could ever dream to.
Mm.
Um, that's been every time you let go of a thing that's kind of your baby. It's hard, but it seems to pay off every time. But that's the hardest thing is letting go, and telling customers no is another thing with that. But
Mm.
you know, yeah.
So what's the next thing that on your list to let go and let someone else do?
We just got we have an office manager that was a salesman for us, and he's taken my role of going out in the field and helping the guys in the morning, and just kind of taking general complaints. So that's a really scary one.
Yeah.
Because now during the day I'm not involved with the day to day of where the guys are. Um, but that's it takes so much time to get it right that you need somebody that's what their job is.
Mm-hmm. And how did you hire that position? Was that someone you promoted internally or someone you found from the outside?
From the outside, we had him as a sales guy, and he just was hook, line, and sinker into our processes. He cared about it, and he cared about the success of the company, and that translated from sales to, okay, why are guys showing up late? And then he had a background of being in charge of guys,
Mm.
so it felt like the guys were calling him for problems as the salesman, and I was like, well, wait a minute, if they're already calling you, then this works great. So
Yeah, that's great. So how did you decide to add the portables or you do the portable rentals
mhm.
and then you also, I'm guessing, probably go and pump them if they're on site for longer.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to do that? How has it been going? If there's anyone else listening that's thinking about adding that revenue stream, do you
It's
have
a
any like,
terrible
don't do
decision.
this or any
Oh my
advice?
gosh. It's the worst. I've never hated something more in my life. But it's just a money thing. You got to throw money at it to make it work. And that's the frustrating thing with it is like everything else, you can buy a cheaper truck and you can pump septic tanks, or you can buy a cheap excavator. Portables, they got to be clean. They got to be serviced. They got to be reliable. So you can't really piece together stuff to make it work. You just got to do it. But we've only done it for about 6 months now, and it's taken off like crazy, and um, I don't enjoy it, but it does do really well.
So happy you did it.
Yeah, it's fun. It is really fun. It's just like the most challenging when learning to haul them was, you'd think that would be the easiest thing, but I've had them blow out on the interstate, and then
Oh yeah.
it's just, and then people are terrible, the things that they do to them.
Hmm. Yeah.
You see a whole different side of humanity from the portable toilets.
Yeah. I could just
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, but I love it. It's great.
That's awesome. Well, looking at your website, I
Yeah.
noticed you had some really awesome video on there that's right
Yeah.
there on that homepage that introduces your company. So what made you decide to do that video, and do you get a lot of positive feedback for it? Do you feel like has made a big difference in your business?
So all of our marketing is new, like our website's new. I did our initial website, and I fumbled with that for 3, 4 years. That with all of our marketing, I just would watch the video, thought I could do it myself, and just probably this last year we hired a marketing company, and the first marketing company I hired, they completely they didn't do anything. So vetting a marketing company is a big deal, but also the one that I have now, I haven't touched marketing in at least 6 months at all. They've done the videos, they did, um, so having taken that off your plate, there's
Hmm.
people that do marketing better than, you know, I, it's funny looking back, you're like, I'm really good at pumping septic tanks. I'm not good at marketing. So
Right.
let somebody that actually
Yeah.
that knows what they're doing do the marketing, and it pays off immensely.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of like you didn't get into business to be a website builder or a marketer,
No,
but
no.
you can find yourself there pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. That's great. Well, what is your strategy for keeping the guys that you have happy and staying there and then bringing in new guys? So, if you need to hire someone, how do you find them? Is it word of mouth? Do you put some ads out? Kind of what's your strategy behind keeping people happy and bringing new people in?
Well, keeping people happy is tough. I think the biggest and I don't know 100% the answer on that, but I think caring about people and caring about their progress and not running people into the ground.
Hmm.
It relies on them a little bit too, but if they're doing what they're supposed to in our system, we don't have to run them into the ground to make money. We don't have to, do the late calls where they're getting home to their family late.
Hmm.
We don't have to work weekends. I think that's a big thing that I hope they appreciate. Um, and then keeping the equipment nice. A big complaint that I get, one of our tank manufacturers, their guys show up and they're like, this stuff is always broken. This stuff is, so if something's broke, I try to fix it. If they need a tool that we just do it.
Hmm.
Uh, and then uh, I think we pay above most what everybody else in the area pays. I know Oklahoma City, Tulsa. Um, then we do bonuses every month. And we slacked the last couple months, but we're supposed to change up our bonuses. So, try to make it a little competitive, make it fun. I don't like going to doing boring stuff at work. So we try to make it a fun environment.
Yeah. Do you tie their bonuses to performance or certain outcomes?
So the performance is expected. And that's kind of a tricky one because it is to a degree, but it's also I care about the way you treat people, the 5-star reviews. Like I want you getting that. I want to know if you went above and beyond. Like I love hearing that my guys helped an old lady with put her flowers back after they dug or that kind of stuff. I'm more interested in because it shows that it's not just septic. It's not, because we should do the job correctly no matter
Right.
what. Um, so the performance, yes, I want them to do well, but I try to push our bonuses towards things like that of like who is helping out the guy next to him, who's getting here and getting something ready, um, that type of thing. Because I'm trying to build the culture with the bonuses. I'm not trying to make more money off of them.
Yeah. So when they're going above and beyond, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I saw that you guys use SeptiLink
Hmm?
sometimes. Probably it's probably not all the time.
Yeah.
But how has that worked? How long have you been doing it? Do your customers love it? Tell us all the things about it.
So we've been doing it probably 6 months. We've put it on roughly 30 or so systems. We're starting to put it on every install.
Okay.
Um, it's an incredible software. Like the data that you can get from it, the ability to see everything, is it's something that I've looked for a long time. Um, the negative is we're in Oklahoma, and it's so difficult to get people to be like, yeah, this computer thing is really
Yeah.
cool. So, people in the country it's not as exciting of a sell for older people, but
Yeah.
or areas like Edmond and Sapulpa and places like that, it's people are like, wow, that's really cool. But yeah, it can be a game changer. It's just not fully. I don't think we fully implemented it the way it should be, but we're
Yeah.
working on it.
Has it has it yet caught some big emergencies kind of before they happen or as they were happening that's helped you guys out?
Yeah, it's actually last night we had tornadoes come through, and it was like my phone was going insane with power outages. So I mean, just off of that, you can call and check on people, and they really appreciate that. But um, we've got pumps that we get there and the pump's still running. It's just super hot. We've got there, and it's saved people money for sure. but it's also like I talked to the guy that runs that septic link, and talked to we don't have people that they don't always just do the repair. They're like, we'll just leave it.
Yeah.
It's like I got the data showing that this is burning up, and they're nah, it's okay. So there's a flip side to a lot of Oklahomans want to do stuff themselves. So just giving them the
Yeah.
option and stuff.
Yeah. Kind of the DIY.
Yeah, yeah, we got a lot of that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you can give sort of a wrap up, if you could give one piece of $1 million advice to someone listening, and I already feel like you've had some really great nuggets that are going to help people out, but if you could just go back to yourself 5 years ago and give yourself some advice, what would you have said?
I think the best advice I could have gotten was to open your mouth and ask for help.
Mm,
Uh, the other companies around here are fantastic. I've had some of my great friends in this have just been competitors, and it makes it so much more fun when you're seeing your competitors drive by and you're supporting each other, and
mm.
um, reach out and help and ask, and in any aspect, marketing or sales, or there's so many people in this industry that are knowledgeable, and they care and they want to help. We could be the industry that helps each other and builds each other up, and make this something great, because I can't do every septic in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of competition, but there's a lot of good people all working for the same goal.
Mhm. Yeah. I've really noticed that about the septic industry. It's very tight knit and people, I mean, you always have a variety of people, right? Because people are just people.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're very supportive of each other and don't see each other necessarily as,
Hmm.
cutthroat competition, but just more as people to work alongside. And it's really cool.
Oh yeah. Now the porta potty is not. That's
Okay.
that's a whole
So,
separate thing.
so porta potty is cutthroat.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But
Okay. That's good to know. Well, thank you, Mason, so much for being on the podcast. It was great to have you.
yes, ma'am.